Hello my friends, let's go straight to the military map because we have some awesome news. As you might see, again blue territory near Kupiansk is expanded. It means that Ukraine was capable to get rid of the Russian forces in Moskovka. Also Sobolivka is confirmed to be under Ukrainian control. We can go to this place and check out. It's been confirmed that Ukraine started the small counterattack here from the north. And there was even Ukrainian pickup spotted, so Russians are not presented close to Sobolivka and Moskovka. This is the gray, entirely the gray area. Because before everything here was red, and Russians even reported that they were fighting in Kupiansk itself, which is not true. Russians were saying that they've almost took Sobolivka under control with heavy fights, but this is disinformation. Sobolivka is very important because it is located very close to this supply road, which is the only supply road for Kupiansk, only left one. You may say that there is supply road here in the south, but where it leads? To the south, in parallel with Oskil River, there's no robust connection here. This is the only supply road. Well, this could be used as the supply, but via secondary field roads, you see. So supplies are not reliable to be delivered through the southern route. And this is one of the commanders of the 10th Army Corps of Ukrainian Army. He says, okay, let's go to Sobolivka, let's film everything to bust the Russian propaganda. And indeed, we take the car and go with them over there on this video. This is Sobolivka village. Some locals live there and their house is more or less okay, which means that there is no intense fight happening. What you did with your lips? Come on. Okay, Sobolivka is here. It's clearly, and she is not fighting in trenches or something. She's the press officer of brigade or army corps. Our guys there somewhere in a trench. They say that sometimes they use drones, sometimes mortars. They say it's mostly working during the morning and evening time, but it's not very intense here. So this is Moskovka, now it's renamed to Mirova, but on the maps it's still Moskovka, at least on the military map which we follow. And if he is filming there with the camera, it means that for sure 100% this settlement is under Ukrainian control. So I would say it wasn't really a Ukrainian counterattack, it's just the clarification that this whole area wasn't taken by Russia. And what they wrote on their media sources is basically a fake and over-exaggeration of the picture. Well, maybe they went there with a small sabotage group because definitely we had the confirmation about the presence of the Russian forces close to Sobolivka in this forest patch, but it appears they didn't last for a long time. Yes, here I filmed a video saying about the urgent situation in the place, but it appears to be not such an urgent one. In fact, Russians were not able to cross the R-79 road, and I hope that Ukraine will finally kick them out from Radkivka and Holubivka. Well, previously this map was published, but later on corrected, so this is still the gray area, not far away from Sobolivka, because we don't have the confirmation about the complete absence of the Russian forces. Maybe there are small sabotage groups. So the actual picture is like that. We're gonna return back to the frontline updates just a little later. Now I want to tell you about the breaking news which happened last night. So Ukraine targeted the Krasnodar refinery facility. Actually, Russia lost 2 of the refineries the last night. This is crazy, guys, because every night Russian refineries are on fire. It has never been like that since the beginning of the war. It is unhinged, unprecedented, and Russian economy will suffer 100% extra because of the refineries burning. Well, I would say this is not the biggest one out there in Krasnodar, but still this is important. Everything according to the standard Ukrainian drone strike. And this is Syzran, also Russian oil refinery, as you may see over there. It is on fire. Locals were shocked, as you may see. It seems like special military operation really goes according to plan. It seems like in Krasnodar, after all, refinery was bigger and fire there continues even now. And what we have here is Simferopol, Crimea. Something is on fire on territory of Gvardeyskaya military airfield. According to unconfirmed for now information, Russia lost S-400 air defense system there. Well, I'm gonna wait for more proofs about particular system, but there was the strike. 100%. Well, the last night, Russia also struck Ukraine with cruise missiles, drones, and ballistics. For example, Dnipro and Zaporizhia were hit very hard and there were life losses reported, unfortunately. Russia restarted its massive attacks on Ukraine, mostly civilian infrastructure. Well, breaking news, while I am filming this video, the information came from Lviv that Andriy Parubiy, a member of parliament of Ukraine, was unalived by unknown shooter. Actually, he was one of the leaders of Ukrainian Maidan revolution back in 2014 and later on was the head of the Ukrainian parliament. And we have this video. This is Andriy Parubiy going somewhere without any security, and this guy just attacked him with some of the gun. Sorry for watermarks. The attacker was riding some sort of the electrical scooter or electrical bicycle. A hitman was wearing a delivery guy wear. I guess I cannot show you the full video of the act itself, but what can I say, that there were 8 of the shots, so all of the magazine of the pistol was emptied by the hitman. Well, according to the latest information from police, they say that they found a trace of this attacker. I hope they'll find him, because it is not the first time happening. For example, several months ago, there was the attack attempt on Sternenko. This woman tried to unalive the biggest drone volunteer in Ukraine with the help of the pistol too. And she is Ukrainian. She got just brainwashed by Russian FSB. They sent her a tool itself and said her how to perform the task, but she performed the task miserably, hitting Sternenko only in the hip. After a few weeks in hospital, Sternenko was released and he is still recording videos on his popular YouTube channel where he says about Ukraine and where he collects funds for drones. And this lady was caught at the place by one of the agents of SBU. She's been prosecuted and now in jail. So what I want to say, that FSB is looking for Ukrainian activists, Ukrainian volunteers, Ukrainian politicians who do something good for Ukraine. And Parubiy, who was the commandant of the revolution Maidan in 2014, also played his role at some point. And of course, Russia tries to disturb Ukrainian society and political life. Well, in this case, I really support Sternenko's idea that the short guns should be legalized, like pistols for Ukrainians to defend themselves, because you never know. Russians might follow everyone out there, especially volunteers, influencers, members of parliament. Yeah. Unfortunately, Russia has their agents and they are capable to brainwash people. Ukraine, by the way, also used the same tactics in Russia. Remember how Russians burned down military conscription services, some bank offices, and so on. Also, you might recall Russian generals, scooters, cars, which kaboom sometimes. Yeah, it's the disturbance of the system, and Russia does the same because it is war. It's not a special military operation. No. Yeah, this is the photo of hitman without any sort of the watermarks. Looks like electrical bicycle. Yeah, 100%. Interesting, United States of America sells Patriot air defense systems to Denmark. Despite recent confrontation between two countries around Greenland, but this deal is still working. According to source, Denmark wants to purchase 6 of the Patriot systems for the price of $8.5 billion and send them later on to Ukraine. Maybe partially, maybe not, we'll see. I wonder how many months this deal might take, but the news are fantastic, obviously. And Denmark really helps a lot, you know, despite its location, it's kind of remote from Ukraine. However, Denmark has a strategic location and Russia potentially may reach it via Baltic Sea. Denmark officials understand that it is better to protect Ukraine right now until it is too late. So Denmark, thank you so much. You're just awesome. And Trump should have agreed on this deal a long time ago during the first months of his presidency. Then Zelensky asked him to purchase 10 of the Patriot systems. Yeah, but no, Trump was waiting for all of those strikes on Kyiv, on Ukraine, and for Melania to tell him, oh, you know, you speak with Putin, but Putin attacks after it Kyiv and other cities. Well, it's better late than never, but Ukraine suffers a lot because of the Trump's incompetency. Different sources report that not just Denmark is in this deal, could be other European countries, which is awesome, because 8.5 billion is a huge sum for a single country. Maybe it's better to share it, right? Oh, this is trending on Twitter now. People say that Trump could have left us. Why is it so? Well, because there was no public appearance of Donny for 3 recent days. The last time he was seen by cameras was during his embarrassment meeting with his White House officials and Witkoff, who praised him to be a Nobel Prize nominee. Plus, all of the public meetings were cancelled for the few next days. Well, for sure, Donny has some sort of the sickness connected to his blood circulation and could be his kidneys because the swollen legs, it's not good. So everything might happen in his age, especially right now that there is extra stress on his job. He is forced to sleep less because he is damn busy, and he is also under stress, especially with Epstein files and Ukrainian situation. Journalists ask him about that all the time. J.D. Vance recently confirmed that Donald Trump sleeps less than they are because he is a very busy person and he works really hard, and all of that obviously influences health. And at this age, it could be crucial. Well, still there are some Trump tweets on Truth Social, but you never know who writes those. Especially it is evident that he just says the text and his secretary types it to Truth Social. It was filmed on cameras before, it is open information. He's not typing himself, no, he just says. And about tariffs, people say that it's too complicated language for Trump. So I will not speculate about this idea, just want to say that probability of idea, which is now spreading around Twitter, is huge. Not right now, but maybe in the future it might happen with Trump because definitely he has health issues. Well, if Donald Trump somehow flatlines for Ukraine, it wouldn't matter a lot because J.D. Vance is nothing better than him. I would say it could be even worse. But for MAGA cult in United States of America, it would matter a lot because they created cult around Donald Trump. And there is the question whether they survive without their leader Donny, their god. What the hell? Why do people write like that without any sort of the evidence? The only thing that it's unusual for Donald Trump not to appear openly to media for such a long time period. Oh no, stop it. I know that many people wait for this, but I think it's too much. There is the freaking dedicated account to that with many of the followers. What? Senior American official to Axios. Trump is perfectly fine. This morning he will go out to play golf. What else can he do? Alright, now let's go back to the military map because we have positive update from Novoselivka. So before Russians took control over the part of the village, well, they attacked with a small attack vector over here a couple of days ago. Yes, 3 days ago they attacked, then expanded it, and later took control over some of the households. But today Ukraine performed the counterattack, kicking Russians out. How do we know it? Well, because we have the confirmation. Ukraine sent infantry forces there and they cleared this village from Russian infantry troops. Probably there were a few of the Russian small sabotage groups. It is a very rare case to see some of the good news from this direction. Well, before Ukraine counterattack in Zeleny High and Tolstoy villages, but in general here in the southern part, Russia keeps advantage and they move. For today, they've occupied this field and went to Komushivaha village, unfortunately, you see. And probably they will take it because they created this pocket here. And there is also increased threat in Liman direction because Russians, they've took the Seriblansky forest under their control, and it is understandable that they want to go to Yampil, to Dibrova, and further to Liman, or maybe directly to Liman. And also they start their attack from Zelena Dolina. Let me update you with the latest information. We have the day before yesterday, and it is yesterday. So you see this Russian attack, new attack vector. This movement is not good. It is understandable that they want to create the pocket for Liman as they did in Konstantinivka, in Pokrovsk direction. Well, here Ukraine actually counterattacks, try to do it in Mirolubivka, for example, but Russians also send some extra reinforcements. They try to take initiative. The fights are happening not far away from Mirolubivka. We also have the confirmation about it. Jack confirmed and presence of Ukrainian infantry. Some of the Russian troops were caputed there. Zaporizhia direction, Stepnogorsk and Kamensk, everything is standard, no movement of the Russian army for the last few days. Guys, as you probably know, because of the technical malfunction, Ukraine lost one of the Mirage jets not long time ago. So now France is looking to supply the replacement. Ukraine will obtain one more jet very soon. The Telegraph says that Trump in talks to deploy private army to Ukraine. So not regular army forces, but private armies. Here they say about the steps. Demilitarized buffer zone, 20 kilometers either side, front line. It's not possible. First of all, you cannot control such long front line. Second, as Zelensky already mentioned yesterday, some sort of the demilitarized buffer zone mainly exists already. For now, it is roughly 20 kilometers, but could be expanded to 40 kilometers because it is called not demilitarized zone, but the death zone or kill zone. Because everything at so-called front line is being targeted by FPV drones. Yes, the war has changed. There is no more need for demilitarized zones because of the long-range tools which either country has. Long-range missiles, Shahids, Lancets, Flamingo missiles, and so on. So the sense of demilitarized zone is basically absent. And it de facto already exists, just some of the sabotage groups are capable to operate there. Highly likely, they say, Ukrainian soldiers' first line of defense against future Russian invasion. Highly likely United States to provide intelligence to Ukraine and to peacekeeping mission. Peacekeeping mission, what is that? Europe still doesn't want to send any sort of the forces to Ukraine. They say only after ceasefire. But why in this case Putin should agree on ceasefire if there will be military forces deployed? So I don't honestly see the logic here. About intelligence information, Ukraine receives it. Even nowadays, there was an attempt to cut it, yeah, but now Ukraine gets it. In negotiation, NATO or United States to be given command of peacekeeping mission. So Russia will never agree on NATO peacekeeping mission or United States peacekeeping mission in Ukraine. So they will just continue war. They will never agree on any sort of the ceasefire. Basically talks about nothing, as they were nothing about meeting between Zelensky and Putin. Oh my god, Tulsi Gabbard blindsided CIA over revoking clearance of undercover officer. So basically she exposed the identity of CIA agent in Russia who was working there for almost 20 years. Actually, guys, exposing the CIA agent's identity is the hardest crime, one of those, in United States and should be punished. But do you really believe that Tulsi Gabbard will be punished? I don't think so. This stupid really posted the number of the agents or employees of CIA who will no longer have the access to the secret information. And one of those persons was the actively working CIA agent in Russia. As Tulsi Gabbard says, those agents or employees of CIA were connected with the false allegations against Donald Trump with his Russia hoax case back in 2016. Well, what can I say? Judging on their actions, it seems like those allegations were not hoax after all. Well, at least they do everything to clear that evidence, but they do it very clumsy, and Tulsi Gabbard really conducts the crime act against the United States by uncovering agent in Russia. It is crazy, guys. It is outstanding, but laws are not working now in United States of America against special people around Donald Trump, like, for example, Tulsi Gabbard. She only could be prosecuted if Donald Trump leaves us. And guys, please check out my channel for other videos. I publish videos very often. I try to film at least a couple of videos per day because you keep me motivated with your support on Patreon. The link for my Patreon page, by the way, is in the video description just below. Guys, thank you so much for your kind support. And now I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.